Game resumed.
Alright guys, here we are in Game 4 for the Asian Beta Cup Tournament. $1,300 on the line. And again, we got these two players, Xi.Gua and BaseTradeTV, competing in this best of 5. This is the finals for the entire tournament. I'm Rifkin. I'm here with Zeph. Take it away, Zeph.
Down here in the bottom right hand corner of Antigua Shipyard, we have the Red Zerg up 2-1 in this best of 5. It is Xi.Gua.
And his opponent, spawning opposite of him, as it is, of course, cross spawn only, thank goodness. It's the Blue Terran, Empire.Beastyqt. And I'm really glad they changed this map to be cross spawn only. There is so many frustrating situations where, like, horizontal spawns are really, in any map, just a headache to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. I unvetoed this map finally when they made that change because I just couldn't stand it having my third like right in the face of someone else's main, or
well, you know,
my main like right next to their third or something.
Yeah, a little bit annoying, but you know what? I gotta say, being a Terran player myself, for those who don't know, I'm a Masters Terran player. I'm here with Zeph, who's a Masters Zerg player. I don't mind TVT or TVZ on this map when it was not cross spawn only, but I hated TVP, because Blink Stalkers, every time,
Yep.
no question about it. If it wasn't a 4-gate, it was a Blink Stalker. Like, it was just so annoying to deal with. But Blizzard finally listened to the community, realizing that there are some flaws, maybe they're not perfect, adjusting these things. Now, BC this game, playing a little more safe. We do have to keep in mind, Xi.Gua only needs one win to get that sweet, sweet $1,300.
Yeah, that's for sure. So he actually also has leniency being up 2-1 to pull out something a bit crazy, maybe experiment a little bit and see what he can do, because he has other games to fall back on, whereas everything is riding on it for BC, and hopefully that sort of pressure doesn't come into his gameplay.
Well, you know what? Pressure can definitely affect your mindset, but stress can also be a very, very powerful factor when you know, like, you gotta get this done. It kind of empowers you just a little extra bit to play a bit harder.
Yeah, it definitely can. It looks like we've got a fast expand coming down here. Command center on the low ground.
Yeah, this is a first. BC changing everything.
Yeah. That's for sure. And a Marine. Oh, the Marine's actually going to catch the Overlord.
Yeah, BC's got the micro. He might be able to catch this. It's a little annoying having the Overlord float off into dead space, but with this tighter step, he might just be able to do it.
Maybe.
And maybe not. Stupid fast Overlords.
Oh, man. I swear any other day that Overlord would have died. Oh, so close.
So
I guess
close.
he just didn't get quite far enough into the base to die.
Well, I mean, like, honestly, an extra step or two would have been the case, because, of course, you got to turn around, and 40 health is not a whole lot. But BC already going for that second barrack, so gonna start with that bio play. Really, I gotta say, the only Hellbat usage we've seen of him, and guys, I know we're talking about this a lot, and that's because we were expecting it a lot. The only Hellbat usage we saw was like 4 Hellbats last game that got kind of squashed by roaches.
Just a little squash, yeah.
Like, and I mean literally squashed. The Overlords dropped the roaches on them so hard that they got crushed under the weight of the roaches, is pretty much what happened.
Yeah, my mind actually kind of exploded after that game, because it's not every day you see that many Overlords just roll over Widow Mines, bunkers, Hellbats, and kill everything.
Yeah, I would like to see you comment on that, but I gotta point out, BC is gonna find himself in a bit of trouble. No, actually, he's got to bunker up with 4 Marines. What am I saying? Xi.Gua trying to think, like, okay, you know, game 1, I really shook him up, or sorry, game 2, I really shook him up with that early Zergling aggression. Maybe I can pull that off again, but not gonna be the case. As Beastie, with that barracks out first, playing a little bit safer, and is not gonna feel any of this pressure whatsoever.
Yeah, for sure. And there's some lings that would have otherwise been drones, so I suppose it's kind of a nice win for BC in the sense that he's just a couple of drones behind where he would usually be, but of course Xi.Gua just going straight back to droning, parrying out
he does get the Overlord this time.
Oh, he does?
Came back for a taste, and the Marines were like, nope, fool me once. Alright, BC gonna get over here just in time and actually block the third base. A little bit of an awkward scout timing, not often do you see that happen. Actually, following up with an engineering bay block. With several Zerglings on the field, though, this is really not going to be that big of an issue. It is going to buy him plenty of time, though, and of course you can still cancel that. The only time Terran building is a little overpowered. The only time.
Okay, the only time. And he will take that third base, but at the very least, you know, with that block, he knows that Xi.Gua has the intention but taking a third hatchery is not going to do some sort of crazy 2-base play. Xi.Gua now grabbing his gas too, so he can start getting speed, heading up to that lair tech, and perhaps going into meters again.
And Beastie loving those Widow Mines, pumping them out. They served him well in game 1. I'm really glad to see he's kind of re-embraced them for this game.
Yeah, they're such great units, and I mean, for the entire game, even into the late game when we've got tier 3 out for Zerg, they are still so useful. And he ended up with, what was it, 16 at some point?
No, 19 actually.
19.
Yeah, huge amount of them on the field. And the thing too is, like, you see a lot of Terran players, whether they're new to Heart of the Swarm or whether they're experienced master players. Beastie, by the way, I don't know about Xi.Gua, I imagine he's a really high caliber player. Beastie, though, is, I believe, like, number 5 Grandmaster right now in Heart of the Swarm. But you see a lot of players kind of throw these Widow Mines away, trying to put them in the middle of the map, you know, in awkward positions where they can't really catch a lot of units. But with Antigua Shipyard, you know, there's a lot of good chokes. You can find a lot of sort of niche locations where they can be the best positional units in the universe.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I would like to see Zerg do something similar now that you can get Burrow a lot earlier.
Yeah, tier 1
Burrow Banes around.
If not Banes, at least Zerg at least to block the expansions. I mean,
True.
dropping creep is one annoyance. Being forced to burn a scan, what is essentially 250 minerals, just to be able to land your command center, that's not fun.
Yeah, definitely not. Especially not as early as it can happen now, when usually they would have to wait for lair tech and then some for that sort of thing to be out.
Oh, but look at this creep spread, Zeph. This is... What is the Doppler effect? You know, that's kind of what it looks like is happening right now on the minimap. Just these sound waves slowly reaching out and getting bigger as we push outwards, and that sick diving creep. It is disgusting to look at.
It's like a Loch Ness monster kind of thing.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Now, interestingly enough, there are gold mineral patches on this map, something we haven't seen in any tournament pool in a long time, but I guess Antigua Shipyard and Heart of the Swarm is fairly limited.
Yeah, Blizzard, and some of the Casper maps too, actually, bringing back some gold patches mixed in with normal mineral patches and stuff. But yeah, hold that thought. We got a force of Widow Mines and Bio coming through here.
Oh, this is a ton of Widow Mines. Now, there are no tunneling claws yet. They will have to sort of burrow ahead of time if they want to be used effectively. Bane's speed has only just now started as well. This Bioforce is actually looking very scary, and BC can like, the best thing about these Widow Mines is he can retreat over them. He doesn't have to use them offensively, but the Banelings are gonna walk right past them, gonna ignore the Marauders, and can't BC split. Will he pick up? He picks up the Marines!
Wow, beautiful pickup. All the Banes have pretty much gone down except for 2, and they detonate
these
on
Widow
the Marines
Mines
coming out of the medevac.
And the Widow Mines are still standing. There are no reinforcements that will come. The natural base cannot reinforce the third Zeph. This third base will absolutely fall. Beastie with some great positioning.
Yeah, he's picking off the drones as a priority. Now he'll go back towards sniping the hatch. It looks like Xi.Gua trying to see what he can do with his last few remaining lings while he tries to reinforce in his natural. He should have enough to just about clean it up in the next round. And he's actually getting the...
Oh no! The workers retreating back in are getting sniped off by the Widow Mines.
Oh no.
They had survived only to die a little bit later. Now there's an aggression push at the third base, as you said, with those Zerglings trying to do what they can, but Medevac should be able to keep these units alive. Yeah, Beastie will clean this up with little to relative ease.
Yeah, and Beastie gets out of there with most of his forces still intact.
Yeah, there's an awkward 4 Marine drop that was just kind of sitting in the main for a while. They will get in here and do some damage, and the Queen does not have the DPS to kill the Medevac, I guess.
Yep, and he loses the Queen too, and there goes the Medevac. Only 1 Marine goes down, so that was a fantastic attack for Beastie here. He killed, what, 23 workers and got the third base.
Yeah, that could have gone better, but here we go with Mutalisks. Like I was saying earlier, there's kind of those why not units at this point.
Yeah.
Because they're so good, why not have them on the field? The best part about Mutalisks, though, is they clean up Medevacs. And I feel that if BC's going to be really relying on Medevacs like he did in Game 1, Mutalisks are going to be a huge boon to Xi.Gua's army.
That's for sure. He's going to try and chase this one down, but it's trying to hightail it out of there. There go the boosters. And he will have a tough time tracking that down. The other bio unit's still sitting across the other side of the map. So there's all these positions from which BC seems he could threaten Xi.Gua with, but so far there's not all that much.
This is how you can tell BC's had his fair share of ZVTs on Heart of the Swarm, by the way. You see turrets in every base, every game, ready for this Mutalisk.
Yeah.
But, okay, Xi.Gua very boldly trying to go for that middle base. Meanwhile, some Mutalisks might just pick off one of these Medevacs. Nope, the Ignite Afterburners do kick in. But, oh, it's actually not enough. He loses 2 medevacs full of units. And Xi.Gua is going to push behind this as well. BC suddenly not looking too good, but he's got Widow Mines. Oh, big splat. And
that saves those units. Oh my gosh, like you wouldn't believe. Man.
I'm really worried for Xi.Gua. There's so many Widow Mines spread across the map now. There are overseers. He is ready to look for them, but BC with a little bit of lack of control on his units. There's been a bit of lazy spread from these bioforces, but you know what? He's not out of the game yet. Yeah,
definitely not. He's got 3 base up before the Zerg, technically, because he killed off all the mineral line and the base. There's still not that many drones over at that 3rd base for Xi.Gua either. He's just really threatening with these mutas. Oh my gosh, 19 banelings coming up. What's he gonna do?
He's gonna kill a lot of bio is what he's gonna do, Zeph. I mean, Ling Bang Muta is strong in and of itself. When you put on Heart of the Swarm, they got all the extra upgrades for the Mutalisks. It's that much more deadly.
True, but I mean, we saw how effective the Widow Mines have been in the first game. He's got Drilling Claws coming up again, 2-2, well on its way. So he's actually setting up to be in quite a nice position, got plenty of medevacs out.
I feel like Widow Mines are kind of like Siege Tank Fire, except they never reload. Yeah. Like, it's a Siege Tank with the longest cooldown is what it comes down to. Some Changeling's going to come out across here. And Tunneling Claws is just about finished, so these Widow Mines right now can only really be used defensively, but as soon as Tunneling Claws clicks in, we will have offensive Widow Mines.
Oh,
is he going to be able to burrow this?
Yes, be careful. So many scans going down for Beastie as he checks the path ahead and moves out with this bio.
Look at this chunk of...
Really once again.
Yeah, Widow Mines are being very effectively used here, sort of just positioning so that BC can advance. I love that he had them run in first instead of afterwards. And this huge amount of Baneling stuff, I don't know that he can use this with the way the Widow Mines are positioned. 56 Banelings! What?! Wow. The base goes down, these Brooklings will actually bait a lot of the Widow Mine hits.
Yeah,
but these Banelings, oh, can he get any of them off? Oh, big explosion! Oh my goodness. Suddenly 56 Banelings becomes 28, losing half of them just to a couple Widow Mines, but the Mutalisks have effectively cut reinforcements. So what BC has across the field is all that he's going to have for a little bit.
Yeah, that's for sure. He borrows some Widow Mines defensively at home, but you're right, he cannot really move out from there with his reinforcements. These Mutas just getting kill after kill, and that's going to really help Xi.Gua be able to hold this off. Here he comes again, trying to kill the buyer, but
oh the Marauder's soaking so many of those hits. He's got to pick up these. Oh, he only loses a couple Marines, not too bad. He does manage to pick up and run. But those Widow Mines, effective as ever, still picking up a lot of these units. Now look at the resources loss tab right now. It's definitely going in BC's favor, but he hasn't cleaned up these Mutalisks, and these Mutalisks have picked off so many medevacs at this point. I wish instead of units killed, we could see specifically how many of which units were killed, because Beastie's lost quite a few medevacs this game.
Yeah, definitely. But I think the Widow Mines and their cost efficiency are making up for a lot of that. A few Widow Mines trying to burrow down at the 3rd. One does get in there.
Ooh, big splat on the Zerglings. More splats on the Banelings. Oh man, Xi.Gua has
left the one at the 3rd. He's gonna have to clean that up before he picks up some extra drone kills.
Yeah, Xi.Gua's gotta start cleaning this up a bit better, and more Banelings going down as well. I mean, these overseers are just a little bit behind where they need to be. Beastie with some of the best landmine placements in the universe. I'm glad this guy was not around for World War II, Zeph. This could have gone very badly.
Yeah, that's for sure, losing a few limbs. But, you know, he's got that Overlord speed up now. He's getting Vengeful Sacks again. He got it earlier, but he ended up cancelling it after the first attack.
There's 24 Mutalisks on the field. They don't give a good gosh darn about how many missile turrets are here. Unless there's a Widow Mine nicely positioned, Beastie's not going to be able to hold this off. He does have a Widow Mine. Can he burrow it in time? Let's go to the wrong spot, actually. But this is kind of a critical mass of Mutalisks. It's going to be very difficult to take this out without kind of derping over a Widow Mine. Now, one of the Overseers actually gets taken down. If the other one goes down as well, these Widow Mines will be that much more effective. But, oh, burrowing do pick off some of the Mutalisks.
Yeah, he's getting a couple of kills, but there's still so many here. Now he's picked up those Widow Mines, but a huge push is coming across the middle of the map. Once again, the 4th base is vulnerable, and there's not a huge gun army. A lot of Banelings, but with Beastie's control, I don't know if this will be enough.
Yeah, the Mutalisks are forced to actually come home. That's exactly the sort of result Beastie wanted. Now Baneling's coming from behind, but the Widow Mines so nicely positioned. Can they get the Banelings? Marauder soaking all of the hits. And these Marines are just running for their lives. He's playing Marine Split in the middle of the map right now. This couldn't go better for these splits, but there's so many Banelings. BC just can't clean this up.
Wow, that could have gone so much worse. So there's Marauders and Widow Mines cleaned up so many of the Banelings. So still, you know, he did get cleaned up, but he forced a...
That was the best way BC could have handled that, and it wasn't enough, and I'm feeling really scared for himself. As, again, if he loses this game, he's out. This could be it.
It is a tough position, but, you know, he may have some tricks up his sleeve. Yet he has a ton of full energy medevacs ready to heal up his bio if he can get it back out there. He wants to secure that 4th base, but will he be able to? The Widow Mines are going to be really key in this.
Yeah, actually, you know what? This might be the best sort of... we harken back to Destiny's introduction of the retard magnet. If we can get a base down like this, surround it with Widow Mines, these Mutalisks will kill themselves trying to get it.
Yeah,
speaking of killing themselves...
Very close. And Xi.Gua still sitting on Lair Tech, by the way. He has not moved towards Hive. He's just trying to kill him with this army for now.
Yeah, no real late game in session or in sight for Xi.Gua, but you know what? This might just be his late game, as it's working rather effectively against what BC's had in the field. Now these Widow Mines, they're really nicely positioned, but he just can't quite get Xi.Gua to bait over them.
That's true. BC, you know, he's got the base down there, though. He's got the bio coming around. It looks like he may just be able to establish this position. Man.
I don't know what it is about Asians and their Banelings left, but they like them. They like them a lot, as we have so many more coming. 25 on the way, already 11 on the field.
Okay, is he going to go for it? It's kind of risky.
Oh, the Mutalisks might get...
there.
Oh, and the turrets are up too, but there's Banelings, there's Circlings, there's just not enough here for BC. The Planetary Fortress will help a lot. The Marines are just trying to kite around it.
It looks like the Planetary is actually going to succeed in taking out most of the Banes for BaseTradeTV. Doesn't have to deal with them, but a counterattack into the natural
and
instead.
there's nothing
really
here.
By Xi.Gua.
There's a couple. Widow Mines up burrow instantly. Oh, I don't know. This is not looking good for Beastie. I would hate to see him go out like this.
Well, you know, the Muta Ball is almost gone after all this aggression. It's
actually, the turrets playing a bit of old school turret defense right now. He's just finished off almost all of the Mutalisks. Clean this up, and suddenly Beastie is looking revitalized, rejuvenated, and a lot better than he was before. Yeah,
all that's left for Xi.Gua is 3 Mutas and 40 Lings at this point. He's morphing some Banes too, but that's not going to be enough to take out these Widow Mine bio composition, especially with this many medevacs, and he's done such a great job of kiting so far. Xi.Gua really needs a good engagement to be able to do it. Can he get one here?
That Planetary Fortress is just working to BC's favor in every way possible. But the problem is BC's reinforcement lines are being ravaged. His natural is a little undefended. And these constant pokes into it are doing exactly what they need to do, and that is kind of making BC panic.
Yeah, he's having a super rough time. He's in the 3rd base now, and the Banelings get in there too, taking out some more SCVs. Meanwhile, BC is going to move across the map down to the 4th of Xi.Gua and see if he can take it down.
Each of these Marines has a personal medevac at this point. Actually, I do want to check the numbers. 13 medevacs for 37 Marines. BC actually looking to push, just super counter-aggressive. Are we going to... I don't know. If this turns into a base trade, it's going to be the slowest base trade ever. But BC... Ooh, can he catch this drone transfer? Oh, Xi.Gua realizing... Yeah, not going to transfer the drones there. That's not going to be a good idea. But the thing is...
Clean up these Marines.
Yeah, BC's still dealing with some stuff at home. He is cleaning it up slowly but surely, but he's lost almost all of his workers in the process of this.
Look at that positioning behind the mineral line.
Oh, actually, that's a pickup.
Goes into the main where there's a Reaper randomly killing off a few things.
When the heck did a Reaper get made? I guess David Kim right now is shedding a tear out of happiness to see a late game Reaper make it into the Terran army composition.
That's sure it's going to pick up the Queen. Can he get the spawning pool? That would be so good for BC.
Yeah, especially because there's no late game tech, as you said before, stuck on that layer, no hive whatsoever. That spawning pool going down might just seal the deal. We'll have to see. BC now being able to produce units, whereas Xi.Gua just simply cannot.
Yeah, huge supply difference. Banes are going to come in to take this Marine Force in the main out, but that is not cost efficient at all. And we're looking at 82 supply to 137 in BC's favor.
Both players have... Yeah, both players have almost no income, no workers, but BC's got that gold base. And a gold base for a Terran is so much more effective than a gold base for a Zerg. Oh, look at again with the banelings. Xi.Gua
Oh.
he's very dedicated to this baneling play. I can't blame him. It's a good way to deal with the bio, but GG out of Xi.Gua actually.